First tonight on Our News, live at 7, the Prime Minister clarifies remarks on crime coverage amidst the ongoing free press debate. This as the nation's leader addresses questions about the perceived absence of the national security chief. Plus, 30-day notice. The company monitoring persons on bail issued a show-cause letter over system faults. The National Security Ministry demands solutions. Also, an alleged gun trafficker denies accusations of breaching his bail. His trial now set for early March. Then in our news at 7:30, the former Prime Minister reveals a shocking incident at PMH, bringing the state of health care back into focus. The Health and Wellness Minister reassuring progress on a new state-of-the-art facility. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The Prime Minister on the defense today, saying his recent commentary on local press coverage of crime was taken out of context. This as nonpartisan organizations weigh in on the importance of free press. The Prime Minister left to answer for the perceived absence of the Minister of National Security, Marlena Leonard. She gets us started tonight.
I'm not a dictator. I believe, and all of you who are in the free press appreciate that I have the highest respect for the press and its involvement in the dissemination of information. I do, of course, have my views as to how that is to be done.
That coming from Prime Minister Philip Davis on the heels of a Miami Herald article titled, "Bahamas Leader Blames Media Stories About the Country's Spike in Crime for Hurting Tourism." The international headline comes on the heels of criticism from both the opposition and nonpartisan organizations. But Davis says he feels his comments were taken out of context.
I would have expected those who were present when I made that statement to be able to say the context in which I said it. I did say specifically, this is not to dictate to you what you ought to do, but I want you to consider how you go about reporting these things. And I ask you to take a look at how it is done around the world and see whether or not it is as prominent a feature in a newspaper as it is in our newspaper.
It is a prominent feature in some places.
Executive Director of the Organization for Responsible Governance, Matt Aubrey, reaffirming the importance of a free and transparent press, and had this to say when asked his thoughts on Davis's suggestion.
I think media has to determine what are the priorities and what are the priorities to the public. And so in our communities, and particularly those communities that have been struggling with for a long time, this is day-to-day issues. These are things that affect. These are people they knew. These are risks in communities. And so it's important that that's brought forward. I think the engagement of our local communities can't be dismissed in the face of potentially international reputation.
The negative international media attention has been largely brought on by the crime wave that has come with 2024. Our current murder count now at 25, just 6 weeks into the year. When asked about the perceived absence of the National Security Minister, Davis said,
Absence, man. No, he's engaged in matters of security now. Right? He is involved right now in one aspect of my 5 pillars. That is the rehabilitative aspect, going around to see how it is being done in other jurisdictions.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, thanks for that, Marlena. Those comments from the Prime Minister came at the end of a walkabout of the Nassau Village community this afternoon. We've got more on that walkabout and the upcoming community center for the area coming up in Our News at 7:30. Be sure and stay tuned for that. A show-cause letter has been issued to the company responsible for electronically monitoring persons out on bail. Press Secretary Keishla Adderley breaking the news today during the weekly press briefing at the Office of the Prime Minister. The Ministry of National Security has given the company 30 days to respond with solutions to faults in the system.
The Ministry of National Security specifically has issued a show-cause letter to the company responsible for the ankle monitoring system. They will have 30 days to explain and remedy the problems associated with those ankle monitoring devices so that those corrections are made. The police, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, will be in contact with them and monitoring the reasoning behind the deficiencies, and more importantly, getting those deficiencies corrected.
During recent meetings with police, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he was greatly dissatisfied with the company and also called for a review. This after perpetrators out on bail were found to have committed crimes while being monitored. Adderley said if the company does not comply with the 30-day request, their contract may be terminated.
Obviously, the monitoring of accused persons is a very important part of the whole crime-fighting strategy. We want to keep an eye on those persons who are on bail. If it is proven that the company doesn't have the capacity to ensure that those persons are monitored correctly, then the consequence that must follow is another company must be put in place, an RFP will be issued, and someone else will have to take over.
Alleged gun trafficker Larry Burrows, who was deported to the Bahamas from the United States last week, is behind bars after he denied breaching his bail conditions. Prosecutors say the 31-year-old failed to sign in at Kwaku Street Police Station and keep a curfew on multiple occasions between May 29, 2022 and February 8th this year. Burrows pleaded not guilty at his arraignment before Magistrate Samuel McKinney. His trial is set for March 6th. Burrows was on bail for allegedly conspiring with others to import 15 firearms of various caliber into the country between November 2017 and September 2020. Prosecutors allege he ditched his ankle bracelet and skipped town before his trial began. Meanwhile, police in Grand Bahama have arrested 3 men in connection with a stabbing Wednesday night that left a man hospitalized. Reports say around 9:15, an altercation ensued at a business on Balboa Road involving the victim and an acquaintance. Police say during the dispute, one of the individuals brandished a knife, resulting in the victim sustaining multiple stab wounds. Emergency services took the victim to hospital where police say he is still nursing severe injuries. A short time later, officers say those suspects, ages 21, 20, and 19, were arrested at their homes. Attorney General Ryan Pinder says more prosecutors are needed in his office. It will assist, he says, with distributing the caseload of the office, especially on the criminal side. And according to the AG, the office has done lots of groundwork to make it more attractive. Pinder says a notice will come out by the end of the week and will be circulated not only in the Bahamas but throughout the region.
We've increased the compensation scales. We've provided health insurance. And for prosecutors, we anticipate putting in a hazard allowance. So prosecutors will earn more than their civil counterparts. Justifiably so. For young attorneys, there is not a single law firm in the country where you will get the level of experience that you will get at the Office of the Attorney General. And for my good colleague, for seasoned attorneys, the level of professional stimulation at the Office of the Attorney General goes unmatched.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Kenyon, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. A beautiful day around the islands. Temperatures rather comfortable. We didn't get as warm as we were the day before, but we're settling now into the low 70s, 72 degrees outside our studios. A few clouds. The winds are out of the east at 12 miles per hour, so we have a slight breeze out there, and it's making it feel like a comfortable 71 degrees. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's a cool 68 in Freeport, 72 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, as well as in Alistown, Bimini, Governors Harbor, and here in the capital. Great Harbor Key, 73, 71 in Nicholstown, Andros, Central Bahamas, 72 in Kemps Bay and Arthurstown, Cat Island. We pick up a pair of 75s, Georgetown and Deadman's Key. Over in Cuban Town, San Salvador, you guys are 71, and into the Southeast Bahamas, 73 in Duncantown, Ragged Island. 75s, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Abrahams Bay, Providenciales, Delectable Bay, you guys are 76. Matthew Downey, Nagua, Deep South, you are the warm spot at 78 degrees at this hour. Satellite and radar composite showing quiet conditions across most of the island chain. We do have that weak frontal boundary hanging out near the southeast Bahamas. Some clouds associated with it. Not much in terms of any rainfall expected, but the high will stay with us throughout the remainder of the week and into the weekend. And then we expect a frontal boundary to be approaching us by Sunday, so we're looking for another dip in temperatures as well as the chances for some isolated showers. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on our news, Rotary Club of East Nassau welcomes its trailblazing former international president Jennifer Jones. Her visit following recent disaster response efforts. Plus, the focus on community outreach continues as the United States Embassy Small Grants Program set to help local organizations, how they're also helping students planning studies in the U.S. When our news returns.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
That part hard to get, you know.
Unless you go to wimauto.com.
Man, anybody get up website, man. How you know that's the right part?
On wimauto.com, you can enter the year, make, model, and engine size of your vehicle and choose the part that you need.
This is a Japanese car.
You can shop for that on our website.
What about chemicals?
Yep.
Car accessories?
Yep.
Tools?
Actually, yeah.
Plumbing, electrical, and grocery?
If we sell it, it's on our website. Don't worry, we don't have mechanics.
Oh, thank goodness.
Save time and shop with confidence with wimauto.com.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Rotary Club of East Nassau recently welcoming immediate past president of Rotary International, Jennifer Jones, who served as the organization's first female president in Rotary's 118-year history. During her visit, she brought a message of gratitude as she thanked members for their efforts in the Bahamas. Jones says during her visit, she was able to see the incredible response by Rotary to natural disasters.
One of the most poignant things that we were able to see was the creation of a water treatment plant. And water is life. It is absolutely vital and critical. And this water plant was able to provide water for people on the island very, very quickly, and to be able to give them an opportunity to survive, quite candidly. We also went and saw, and this touched my heart in a very beautiful way, fishermen whose boats had been washed away several miles, motors disappearing, and the Rotary members here were able to help them replace boats, engines.
A fundraising celebration dinner was also held during her visit to assist with projects such as community and economic development, the environment, and disease prevention. Chairman is Barry Rassin.
We're in 200 countries. We do incredible programs. We have over 2,000 grants around the world that come from the Rotary Foundation, and then every club, every one of our 47,000 clubs is doing work. So this is an opportunity for us to locally celebrate the incredible work that our organization does to make our world a better place.
Still talking community outreach, the U.S. Embassy Small Grants Program, looking to empower local organizations and young people who want to further their education in the United States. Embassy Public Engagement Officer Chanel Sands says efforts are already underway to support local initiatives such as the Nassau Rowing Club. And the help doesn't stop there.
We have a small grants program where we'll be putting out shortly a call for grant proposals, and organizations who have programs that they would like to, showcase or to feature, or something that has a youth and community component. We invite them to apply for those grants, and they'll be able to find access to that on our website and social media platforms for that information.
As many prepare to graduate high school this summer, Sands says the embassy is also committed to assisting students navigate studying abroad through its Education USA program.
We also have our Education USA Center, where we actually help students who want to study in the United States to find information and to learn about how to go about the process, and that is located at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as Kansas City police appeal for information after that Super Bowl parade shooting. Plus, the Privy Council commences an appeal hearing for dancehall musician Vybz Kartel convicted of murder. And Haiti says it's working on an agreement with Kenya to lead its multinational police force. When our news returns.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Have you heard that sound? It's the sound of us. Since our origins, we burst music. Our sounds mix together. So let us hear your sound too. Your sound of passion, of joy, of friendship. The sound of your style and the beat of your night. It's time to play together the sound of Guinness, the sounds of greatness.
Dinner is in the oven.
Order your favorite pizzas on the new Domino's242.com. Your favorite Domino's specials are all here to order. See your pizza as you build it, or order your favorite specialty and feast pizzas. See the progress of your pizza from the time your order is placed until it reaches your door. Your favorite Domino's pizzas are now online. Order online today at Domino's242.com. It's better than ever.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Police in Kansas City are appealing for information from the public after gunfire killed one and injured at least 21 others after a Super Bowl victory parade. The deceased victim was identified as local DJ Lisa Lopez Galvan. 9 children are among the wounded, and they are all expected to recover. Police have not released the names or any further details about 3 suspects taken into custody shortly after the shootings. The United Kingdom's Judicial Committee of the Privy Council is currently hearing the appeal of Adidja Azim Palmer, better known as Vybz Kartel, and 3 others regarding their conviction for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams in 2014. They are aiming to have their convictions overturned following a lengthy trial in Jamaica. The prosecution's case was that the appellants murdered Williams on August 16, 2021, after he failed to return 2 unlicensed firearms. The session began early this morning with their lawyers addressing concerns about the integrity of the jury. And Haiti's government revealed plans on Wednesday for an official agreement with Kenyan officials to finally bring a long-awaited police force from East Africa. Following a 3-day meeting between high-ranking officials from both nations in the United States, they are drafting a memorandum of understanding. This news comes after a Kenyan court blocked the UN-backed deployment due to constitutional concerns. Despite this hurdle, Haiti says discussions are underway to ensure compliance with both countries' laws. Details on the agreement and its implications are expected next week. Well, in tonight's edition of Sustainability First, the University of the Bahamas joining forces with the Global Interdependence Center to delve into climate currency and central banking in their inaugural conference in the Bahamas. Marlena Leonard explores their collaboration and the future of sustainability studies.
Bahamas First, putting sustainability first for our people and our environment. What's first for you and the planet comes first for us.
An assembly of global thought leaders and experts convened at the Harry C. Moore Library Auditorium today as the University of the Bahamas Government and Public Policy Institute, in partnership with the Global Interdependence Center, hosted their first global summit on climate, currency, and central banking. The summit covers an extensive list of critical topics at the intersection of environmental sustainability, financial stability, and monetary policies. William Kennedy is board chair of the Global Interdependence Center.
It's very important that we always take the opportunity to explore both sides or all sides of a topic or an issue. We're neutral in our approach, and we hope to bring thought leaders together in forums to explore those topics.
Acting president of the University of the Bahamas, Janine Hodder, highlights the university's commitment to addressing these pressing issues through its programming, aligning with the nation's priorities.
In addition, here at the university, we've been expanding and are revisiting programs such as Small Island Sustainability, a broad program that intends to provide education that is both broad and deep enough so that we prepare our students to take on significant leadership roles in a number of fields, whether renewable energy, waste management, project planning, disaster relief.
Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 15th. Then in Our News at 7:30, a judge set to rule on a Canadian man's bail in an ongoing rape case. Plus, Prime Minister Davis engages residents in Nassau Village addressing crime concerns. The PM emphasizing the community's rich potential during a special visit. When Our News returns.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Janet Jackson presents Together Again. A celebration of hits, plus brand new music live in concert. Janet Jackson at Atlantis, Saturday, April 27th. Get tickets now at atlantislive.com. For more, visit janetjackson.com.
February is the month of love, and you will love the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.29. Mullis ready cut macaroni, 16 ounce, $2.19. English cheddar cheese, $3.99 per pound. Vitamalt Classic, 10 to 12 ounce, $1.19. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 89 cents per pound. If you love to save, you will love Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
If you want a real nice, tasty bangin' dish, there's a place on the fish fry you can't resist. You can watch the sunset out on the beautiful deck. Eat a juicy conch salad made by the conch technician. When they ask me where I yearn by the conch. When they ask me where I yearn by Goldie. When they ask me where I yearn by the conch. When they ask me I yearn by Goldie's. Arawaki is king of conch. We yearn by Goldie's. Arawaki is king of conch. We yearn by Goldie's. Arawaki is king of conch. We yearn by Goldie's. Arawaki is king of conch. We yearn by Goldie's.
Goldie's Conch House, Arawaki, 325-4300. That's Goldie's Conch House, Arawaki, 325-4300.
All right, now if you want to see our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was February 15th, be sure and head over to ournews.bs. Well, the world is once again focused on the life of the music, legendary Bob Marley. One Love, an American biographical musical drama, opened in theaters yesterday, giving new life to a man whose influence felt all around the world. What some of you may not know is that the late reggae superstar once performed here in a mega concert, but as Danielle Miller tells us, it was not with the reception you might have thought it would have received. Take a look.
1979 was classified by the UNESCO as International Year of the Child. This was also the year Bob Marley and the Wailers Survival Tour came to the Bahamas. Newspaper reports of the time identified the International Year of the Child Commission chairperson as Beryl Hannah. She, along with committee members Ruby Nottage and Delzina Coakley, invited Bob Marley to perform in Nassau for a benefit concert. The announcement created an enormous controversy, led mainly by some religious leaders and outspoken community advocates. The opposition focused on a belief that Marley's presence and performance would cultivate the Rastafarian religion and promote drug use among young people. The days leading up to the concert were tense.
I thought it was a contradiction to have the Year of the Child with somebody who promotes marijuana in his song. I've since recanted about him, the man himself. At that time, I was ignorant of the superstar, the hero of Jamaica. I was ignorant of his contribution to their culture. I have backed off from that, not from the use of marijuana. I don't think you should use any drug. But see, when you listen to his songs, you get an appreciation for the depth of his philosophy. I just had him painted as somebody who promoted marijuana. I now know better than that.
Bob Marley did several interviews while here, one in particular with the Nassau Guardian, where he declared he will be giving a regular concert and that he has no intention of teaching the concert goers about the Rastafarian faith. Despite the opposition, it is reported that an estimated 6,000 people attended the concert. Hosted by the late Charles Carter, Bob Marley and the Wailers could be heard throughout neighboring communities around the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. This was the first and only concert performed by Marley here. The Marleys called the Bahamas home for many years. It's where he sought after being exiled by the leaders in his own country, much for the same reasons why he was criticized by many in the Bahamas. It was his influence and philosophy that frightened a lot of people at the time. His wife, Rita Marley, once called Bob's music a weapon, to the point where in 1976, it almost cost him his life. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks for that, Danielle. If you want to see part 2, be sure and stay tuned to Our News tomorrow. Joining us now is Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Talia?
Yes, Canwell, the former Prime Minister reveals a shocking incident at PMH and a judge set to rule on a Canadian man's bail in an ongoing rape case. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, it appears as if the Princess Margaret Hospital may be faced with another challenge. This as the former Prime Minister reveals shocking information this week in the House of Assembly. Plus, a young man from New Providence charged with indecent assault of a minor. We have courtroom details straight ahead, and later...
New homes and luxury residences on the way. Tonight, coming up on Our News, the Prime Minister is touring new developments in the western New Providence area. It's coming up tonight.
And are you smarter than a fifth grader? Tonight we hear from a rising spelling star in Grand Bahama. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits, all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
That part hard to get, you know.
Unless you go to wimauto.com.
Man, anybody get our website, man. How you know that's the right part?
On wimauto.com, you can enter the year, make, model, and engine size of your vehicle and choose the part that you need.
This is a Japanese car.
You can shop for that on our website.
What about chemicals?
Yep.
Car accessories?
Yep.
Tools?
Actually, yeah.
Plumbing, electrical, and grocery?
If we sell it, it's on our website. Don't worry, we don't have mechanics.
Oh, thank goodness.
Save time and shop with confidence with wimauto.com.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
Welcome to Our News. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Concerns about healthcare facilities persist among residents, highlighted during discussions in the House of Assembly yesterday. The Minister for Health and Wellness acknowledged the challenges with infrastructure, but assured residents of a new state-of-the-art facility underway for the capital. Our Megan Shepard is following this.
Former Health Minister and Member of Parliament for Killarney, Dr. Hubert Minnis, says residents are very concerned about conditions within the Princess Margaret Hospital. He says the public hospital caters primarily to the average Bahamian, but residents are losing confidence.
Just the other day, a tile had fallen on the head of a nurse in the pediatric ward, and you can imagine had that fallen on one of the infants or the young children in that particular ward. And these are matters that must be corrected. And this could have been avoided. Is we must not allow the confidence level in the institution to fall.
Minister for Health and Wellness Dr. Michael Darville admitted to the long-standing issues plaguing PMH and other tertiary health facilities, emphasizing the ongoing efforts to address infrastructural challenges.
During the active renovation, we ran into difficult problems because it's an old building where we develop a lot of roof issues. We went to Cabinet and got the additional resources to get those roof issues resolved. But the residents of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas must understand that the Princess Margaret Hospital is an institution that is more than 70 years old.
Dr. Darville assured residents of a forthcoming state-of-the-art facility for New Providence. Meanwhile, he says the ministry remains committed to maintaining and operating the existing institution.
The Bahamian people, like every Caribbean country, we are experiencing shortage of manpower resources as a result of direct recruitment by developed countries who are constantly in our jurisdiction recruiting our professionals, and we are doing all in our power to push back on that event. I am pleased to report that the roof situation that we currently face with the renovation of the accident emergency is presently under control.
Now, while the minister did not provide a timeline for the completion of the work, he says Bahamians will be pleased with the improvements. Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks, Megan. Well, a Canadian man accused of raping an 80-year-old woman on January 28th in the elevator of the Warwick Hotel remains in custody pending a judge's ruling on his bail application. Justice Franklin Williams Casey is expected to give his decision in the case of 61-year-old Gordon Woolke on Monday. Woolke has sought bail on medical grounds, alleging that prison officials haven't given him his medication to regulate his blood pressure. Now the prosecution is objecting to his release. A 29-year-old man from New Providence appeared in the magistrate court in Grand Bahama yesterday for indecent assault of a minor earlier this week. Donovan Hart appeared in court number 3 before Magistrate LaQuay Lang. Prosecutors say police received complaints on February 11th about Hart assaulting a female relative who's a minor. Hart pleaded not guilty to the charge and was granted $6,000 bail. Now the matter has been adjourned until June 9th. Nassau Village residents may have noticed a special visitor in the area this afternoon as Prime Minister Philip Davis knocked on doors and stopped to chat with some homeowners during a walkabout. While checking on the progress of the construction of the Nassau Village Community Center, Davis acknowledged the struggle to combat crime in certain neighborhoods in New Providence. He also believes these areas are rich in potential.
This community center is a small yet significant step in that direction. This center will be an urban sanctuary, a bastion of our commitment to safety and security. But our dreams do not limit themselves to these property lines. Our shared vision for Nassau Village extends far beyond, because we all deserve to live well in a free state, safe from strife.
All right, well, a transformation underway in Western New Providence, spearheaded by a local developer with a vision to introduce accessible housing. We'll get to that story in just a moment, but first, comfortable temperatures on this Thursday evening as we get ready for the weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and a happy Thursday evening, everybody. Beautiful evening setting up for us. Temperatures rather comfortable into the low 70s. 72 degrees outside our studios right now with just a few clouds. Your winds are out of the east at 12 miles per hour, and your field strike temperature a comfortable 71. Satellite and radar composite showing quiet conditions across the area. We are still under the influence of a high-pressure ridge that's dominating our weather with dry conditions. Slightly breezy across the central and southeast islands. Frontal boundary hanging out near the southeast Bahamas should continue to dissipate or weaken overnight through Saturday, and we expect this front to get out of here, paving the way for another front by Sunday. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, affordable housing may soon be available in Western New Providence. This as a new housing development is under construction. Plus, the Ministry of Tourism partnering with Alive to make downtown Nassau more technology friendly. And can you spell bacteriolytic? Grand Bahama's newest spelling champ is telling us how he won the spelling bee. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Since they're on sale, Max bought things neither he nor his friend really needed. Hungry for deals? Come to KFC to satisfy your hunger before doing something crazy. Our new 6-piece value deal is packed with 6 pieces of your favorite fried chicken, 3 orders of crispy fries, and 3 buttery biscuits. all for just $20. You work hard for your money. Get the biggest bang for your taste buds. Satisfy your taste buds with KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
At Cartwright, our members know that there's a lot to smile about. They know that membership has its privileges. Guaranteed low pricing on every item, every time you shop. Each membership comes with 2 cards. That's one for you and a free card for a member of your household. Gold card holders earn an annual 2% rebate up to $500. Cartwright members get discounts at other participating businesses. So that's a lot to smile about. Whether it be clothing, appliances, home goods, or groceries, shop at Cartwright, where membership truly has its privileges.
A transformation brewing in Western New Providence, spearheaded by a local developer with a vision to introduce accessible housing and rental opportunities for both locals and international investors. Our Joshua Williams, who was on a tour with the Prime Minister today, tells us how the project is set to align with the Davis administration's plan for affordable housing.
Vibrant community living, quality lifestyle, and providing opportunities for investment is the goal of the Brickell Management Group, which now has 14 sites currently under construction, inclusive of homes, hotels, and shopping spaces. The group's chairman, Sebastian, says it's time to invest and prioritize affordable housing for Bahamians, and emphasizes the importance of addressing the housing needs of the local population.
Persons want to live in gated communities right now as well, and being able to deliver a place where where I'm comfortable with my daughter living, that's a testament of how much I believe in the product that we develop.
During a tour of construction sites today, Prime Minister Philip Davis visited further locations such as the Venetian Village shops and residences. Davis commended the group's efforts, which he says align with his administration's commitment to promoting homeownership.
The one thing we were talking about is empowering Bahamians and ensuring that they have the equal opportunity to have a slice of this economy, and more importantly, to own this economy, because it is a Bahamian economy, and that's our thrust.
The project also expected to provide thousands of construction jobs, and for Bastian, he says doing something to help instead of complaining was the driving force.
I was one of those individuals that used to say that they give everything to foreigners and they don't give nothing to Bahamians. And I had to correct myself because I could only say that if I had asked and I was told no.
With all the projects and developments taking place now, the Prime Minister emphasizes the importance of young Bahamians getting involved.
Follow the example that Mr. Sebastian is setting for us. And for the young Bahamian. He's a young man. He's not sitting idle and reaping the rewards of this country that he's being allowed to do through his businesses, but he's also putting it back into the country.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, great news. Thanks for that, Josh. Well, initially tapped at $3 million, Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Keisha Adley, says now the small home repairs project is set to cost $5 million. Out of the 1,000 homes government has committed to repairing, she says 300 have already been assessed. And those are homes not just here in New Providence, but also in Abaco and Grand Bahama. The project seeks to improve living conditions for thousands of Bahamians, as well as provide jobs for many small contractor companies.
Now, these repairs have to do with damage that was done during Hurricane Dorian, and some of them actually date as far back as Hurricane Matthew. But the assessment of 300 homes has been done, and that work is expected to commence shortly. There are about 700, a balance of 700, which will also be a part of this program.
Converting the downtown area into a smart zone. That's the goal for officials of the Ministry of Tourism and Investments. The ministry is partnering with Alive to bring smart city infrastructure to the Nassau Cruise Port and the wider downtown area. Here's Tourism Minister Chester Cooper.
The 21st century is seeing the greatest advance in technology, and the momentum continues at a very rapid pace. Today we are seeing the rise of smart cities across the globe. There are some 140 smart cities around the world, with the top 3 smart cities being London, New York, Paris. Acquiring the status of smart cities does not happen overnight. It involves a step-by-step process that sees the successive installation and expansion of digital infrastructure.
This digital infrastructure is where Alive plays a crucial role. Chief Alive Officer John Gomez painted a picture of what it will look like.
Managed by Alive Business, the platform is designed as a comprehensive digital ecosystem, featuring management software, in-depth reporting, targeted advertising services, and insightful data analytics. This is another example of innovation through public-private partnerships with our group of companies. We take pride in partnering with the Ministry of Tourism to advance digital transformation within the Bahamian landscape.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, we speak with a young student from Grand Bahama who recently won the district spelling bee.
Coming up in sports, the GSSSA concludes its basketball postseason, and Buddy Hield heads into the All-Star break on a hot streak.
And the Uriah McPhee Primary School hosting a career fair this week. We have all the details coming up when our news continues. Stay with us.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
How is your day going?
In a word, busy. 6 a.m. gym, 7 a.m. breakfast, 8 a.m. drop the kids to school, 9 to 3 back-to-back meetings with working lunch, of course, 4 p.m. pick up the kids, 4:15 dog groomer. Oh, but that reminds me, oh dear.
Is something wrong?
Yeah, I double booked my 6 p.m. Charity committee versus helping out at the kids' ballet. Oh, it's a tough one. I promised the kids.
Which one are you going to reschedule?
Neither. Divide and conquer. My husband can handle his own on the dance floor.
It's a good thing your money's been just as busy.
RF, keeping your money busy with investment products and services that match your needs.
This is our news. Welcome back. The winners of the GSSSA Senior Tournament. More details on Buddy Hield's transition to Philadelphia, and Team Bahamas competes at the World Aquatics Championships. Here now with Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors, is Ronaldo and John Mark. Ronaldo?
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. The GSSSA postseason concluded with the CV Bethel Stingrays and the CI Gibson Rattlers claiming titles in their respective divisions. The Stingrays won the Senior Girls Championship with a dominant performance in Game 3, a 67-44 win over the CR Walker Knights. Trinity Bodie was named Series MVP. Stingrays head coach Chantel Roll talked about the adjustments her team made for the closeout game.
Last night was very, very disappointed. We went over our game from yesterday. We watched it on the screen. And what I did, I came out tonight and I made some adjustments. Instead of pressing full court, we pulled back on 3-2 and slowed the game down a little bit so they could play at our pace.
In senior boys play, the CI Gibson Rattlers defeated the Anatole Rogers T-Rolls 58-47 in the third and deciding game. Deshaun Butler scored a game-high 27 points in the wire-to-wire win. An emotional Kevin Johnson knew this season was bigger than basketball.
We dedicate this season to him, and the boys fought hard. Anatole Rogers is a very good team. Tough guys. They never gave up. They shot the ball extremely well, but we did it for Rumble.
Next on the sports calendar for the GSSSA, track and field. The organization announced plans for the 30th edition of its meet, hosted February 28th to March 1st at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium.
The schools and coaches have been prepared at least day in and day out. If you notice, when we started in September with our various sports, we had a highly competitive season so far. And look, I can tell you that our cheerleaders are ready, the kids are ready, they are prepared to come out to give you a very exciting 3 days of competition.
Buddy Hield has had a seamless transition to the city of brotherly love and to the 76ers roster. Hield is averaging 22.5 points, 7.5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1.7 steals in 4 games since being acquired from the Indiana Pacers. In Wednesday's 109-104 loss to the Miami Heat, Hield had his first double-double of the season with 22 points and 10 assists.
Competition is underway for Team Bahamas at the World Aquatics Championships in Doha, Qatar. In the 100-meter free, Marvin Johnson finished 42nd overall in 51.01 seconds. Renishka Gibbs finished 38 in the 100-meter breast in 1 minute 12.27 seconds, and Lamar Taylor finished 40th in the 50-meter fly in 24.85 seconds. Gibbs will also swim in the 50-meter free. Taylor still has the 50-meter free and 50-meter back, while Johnson will also compete in the 100-meter fly. Victoria Russell will swim in the 50-meter breast and 50-meter fly. The team also competed in the 4x100-meter medley and finished 24th overall in 4 minutes 6.91 seconds. That'll do it for Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. For John Mark Nutt, I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, developing the nation's future. Our News participates in Uriah McPhee Primary School's recent career fair. We'll tell you all about it. Plus, young men continuing to do positive things. Tonight, we highlight a young spelling bee champion out of Grand Bahama who shares his inspiring story. That's all coming up when Our News returns.
Have you heard that sound? It's the sound of us. Since our origins, we burst music. Our sounds mixed together. So let us hear your sound too. Your sound of passion, of joy, of friendship. The sound of your style and the beat of your night. It's time to play together. The sound of Guinness. The sounds of greatness.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works.
Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
I get it. You can order stuff on wimauto.com and pay for it online.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Online is just the first step.
They have next weekday delivery in Nassau, Monday to Friday.
What if I don't live in Nassau?
WimAuto.com will send it to the mailbox.
What if I don't want nobody knowing where I live?
They have a store.
What if I don't want to come inside because I don't like air conditioning?
They have a drive-thru.
If you love wimauto.com so much, why don't you just marry it?
If WimAuto starts selling fries, we're going to have to reassess this entire relationship.
Get ready for the 25th Grand Bahama Business Outlook, February 22nd at 8:45 at the Grand Lucayan Resort. Keynote address by DPM the Honorable Chester Cooper and a powerhouse roster of speakers, including the Honorable Ginger Moxie, Shakira Johnson, Rupert Hayward, Dennis DeVoe, James Carey, Clynette Fowler, Juan Hernandez, Ian Roll, and many more. Secure your spot today at tclevents.com.
Welcome back to our news. Young spellers recently putting their brains to the test as they took part in the recent district spelling bee in Grand Bahama. In this report, the winner of the annual bee is sharing the secrets to his success. Meet Camden Green, a 5th grade student from Walter Parker Primary School who captured the title at the recent district spelling bee in Grand Bahama. With over 40 participants in the bee, Camden recounts a challenging yet rewarding experience of mastering numerous difficult words.
Bacteriolytic, gadipans.
As for the keys to his success,
I studied every day on lunchtime. And when I got home, I would do some more studying.
Camden attributes his victory to his dedicated coaches, one of them, Anastasia Clark, a 5th grade teacher who told us about Camden's commitment and diligence that ultimately made him the spelling bee champ.
Camden is a very hard-working student, so working with him was very easy for us. We tried to make it fun and not to put so much pressure on him.
And it was exciting to watch him every day come in and study and spell those words.
Camden's parents express their pride in his well-rounded abilities, highlighting his prowess in sports alongside his academic achievements. They say his win was simply a proud family moment.
He always has a very good attitude, and I'm very happy to see how well he has done, and I think that it is a very good sign of great things to come for him.
Him and his mom work countless hours. After school, before bed, in the mornings, on the ride to school, after practice, basketball practice, stuff like that. So they put in a lot of work at home, along with the work that his coaches did at school with him. So it was very satisfying to see him come out with a win.
All right, congrats to little Camden. Well, nice weather conditions outside the Our News studio on this Thursday as we get ready for the weekend. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast. Greg.
Yeah, thanks again, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for our final check of weather. Quiet conditions across our area. High pressure ridge remains in charge. There's a weak frontal boundary down near the southeast Bahamas, not really producing any weather. Just some clouds associated with that. High-level clouds moving across the extreme northern islands. That's all associated with an upper-level jet. But that high will continue to dominate our weather throughout the next couple of days before we see a frontal boundary get into our area. And that frontal boundary is what's taking shape across the central portions of the United States. Low-pressure system will develop across the central portions. That's going to be dragging that front across us by Sunday, Monday time frame. So we're looking at some isolated showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm. Future forecast showing the quiet conditions across the area through tonight and into tomorrow. We're not going to see much in terms of any rainfall. It's going to remain rather dry, and into Saturday, much the same, with just a slight chance of an isolated shower as our winds turn more towards the southeast, paving the way for that frontal boundary. Plan on doing any boating tonight through tomorrow. Caution flag in place for the Atlantic waters. Your winds will be east-southeast, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet over the ocean, but up to 6 feet in some northeast to easterly swells along Atlantic exposures. Tide is presently low. Your high tide will be at 12:46 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag down there as well, but the winds are slightly stronger easterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet in some northeast to easterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, beautiful weather expected tomorrow and into Saturday. Frontal boundary approaches us by Sunday. We're looking at temperatures staying near the 80-degree mark, but once that front comes through on Monday, we're looking at temperatures taking a dip. Should get into the low to mid and upper 70s, pardon me. And of course, our nighttime temperatures will be taking a nice dip, looking at some low to mid 60s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. And now to this feel-good story. Students at the Uriah McPhee Primary School held their 2024 career fair. The interactive learning experience helping some to pick a career that they may want to pursue after high school. It was a day of excitement for the students at the Uriah McPhee Primary School as they embarked on a journey of discovery. The young minds had the privilege of engaging with professionals from various fields who offered valuable insights and guidance about their desired future career paths. The Royal Bahamas Police Force, firefighters, the Bahamas National Trust, and several media outlets were among the organizations that participated in the event.
We want them to be familiar with what the Bahamas National Trust does, and we want them to have an understanding that the Bahamas National Trust, one of our missions is to preserve national parks and also to maintain the things in those national parks.
The experience included a dive into the world of journalism, courtesy of the Our News team, as we got to teach the little ones about news gathering and television news production. And they also got the chance to meet some of the hard-working on-camera and behind-the-scenes personalities.
Coming out of high school, I had aspirations of having a business, but I wasn't really career-driven, like which college I wanted to go to. So it was by mere luck that I found a hobby or interest that I was into, which is the camera. And it's provided immense opportunities for me, provided a career.
Principal Pamela Armley encouraged students to embrace their talents and passions.
Children are gifted in many different ways. You have some who would maybe do the white-collar jobs and those who would do the blue-collar jobs. And we have a really variety at Uriah, a mixture of our students. They're all delightful students, and we're hoping the best for them.
The Guidance Counseling Department played a pivotal role in ensuring the success of this initiative. Shakira Davis McDonald is one of the counselors.
Oftentimes the primary school gets overlooked, and we often say that if we focus on the babies when they reach the LW Young or the junior high schools and the senior high schools, it will be a better transition.
They're very interactive with our career day that's going on today, and they're very excited, and they're engaging, and they're looking forward towards their future.
All right, so much fun. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night on The Record with Jerome Sawyer starts right now.
Over the last few weeks, our discussions have revolved around the complex crime issue. Amid these conversations, an underlying theme has emerged, one that cannot be overlooked. Whether in education, finances, or even resources, two totally different experiences are happening simultaneously in our country. It would be completely ignorant to deny the existence of a wealth gap in our country, a gap that, while not excusing criminal behavior, highlights the reality that many criminals come from disenfranchised communities. Welcome to On the Record. I'm your host, Jerome Sawyer. Our recent episodes have peeled back the layers of this issue, revealing a common thread among those in the hardest hit areas. They're searching for help, respect, security, safety, essentials that we all associate with the concept of community. So we're taking a step back from the headlines to focus on solutions, hope, and action tonight. We sit down with leaders from various community organizations who are at the forefront combating crime through charity, outreach, and empowerment. We unpack what community action looks like, exploring the innovative ways these organizations are making a difference, and discuss how each of us can play a part in this vital work. The theme of tonight's episode is a powerful reminder that charity work is not just the responsibility of a select few. It is indeed all of our work. You're watching On the Record. Our conversation begins on the other side of this break.
It's about to go down April 6th. It's Mr. Lucky's Big Raffle. It's your chance to win one of two brand new 2024 Suzuki Swift. $10,000 in cash, PS5, and more great cash prizes. Simply purchase a lotto ticket of $20 or more, or deposit $20 or more on a verified account. It's just that simple. So get in it to win it. Tickets available now through April 3rd. It's Mr. Lucky's Big Raffle. Winners take chances. Chances make winners. Chances remind you to game responsibly.
Chances is the one you get. Oh, yeah.
This is On the Record. To kick off our discussion, we're joined by two remarkable guests on the front lines of providing essential support to those in need within our communities. We have Bishop Walter Hanschel, the leader of Great Commission Ministries, an organization renowned for its tireless efforts in feeding, clothing, and providing spiritual guidance to the less fortunate. Alongside Bishop Hanschel, we're honored to have Kim Thurston, First Vice President of the Bahamas Red Cross. The Bahamas Red Cross, of course, has been instrumental in not only providing disaster relief and training, but also in everyday efforts to clothe and feed those facing hardships. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you, Jerome.
Bishop Hanschel, it's good to see you. I know you had some health challenges previously, but you do here and looking well, and God is good. We're happy to still have you with us and looking so well.
Amen. I'm back from the dead, and I'm so grateful to be alive, and I want to thank all those who prayed for me and let you know that God is good. He had mercy. His grace is on my life. His favor is on my life, and I am here to serve some more. God is good.
Listen, I keep you here to do this good work.
Amen.
All right. So, Bishop, we're going to really start with you. We talked a little bit in the introduction about what Great Commission does, but as your organization has been around and is moving through the community, I want you to tell us a little bit about, how you've seen the need grow. I know that you started so many years ago, but how have you seen the needs of the people grow within the community?
Well, first of all, Jerome, you stated that Great Commission is about feeding, and that is one of our primary tasks. You didn't mention the fact that we are the only organization in the Bahamas that not just feed, but we shelter men, women, and children who find themselves without a bed, without a place to lay their head at night. I believe we're the only organization since 1987 that houses, that accommodates homeless people. We've been doing this for years. We've operated 7 shelters. 7 shelters, and we're in the process right now of constructing a 100-bed, state-of-the-art shelter on Carmichael Road that will make a big difference in homelessness. Homelessness is a major problem in the country that is not being addressed, not being talked about, but every single day A week never goes by without us having to help mothers who find themselves evicted, living in derelict vehicles, living in abandoned homes, living on the beach, and we have to rescue them and put them in a bed with their children.
I was supposed to say, and these women have children.
Children.
With them.
Yep. We deal with it on a daily basis.
How much have you seen it grow in the time? You mentioned 7 shelters. That was an eye-opener for me, but you've seen the problem grow over these many years.
Yes, it has. I guess for the last 6-7 years, we've seen a huge escalation, and we've been warning our officials about it. We've been telling them what to do. We've been writing to the powers that be, and it's like it's falling on deaf ears, and the situation keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
And if you look on our streets, and I'm not talking about the people who live in apartments and homes who find themselves homeless. I'm talking about, we also have a problem with mentally challenged persons walking the streets. They are homeless, walking the streets every single day, and they are ignored, they are rejected, nobody is dealing with them. They have mental challenges. We need that to be addressed. I've been begging people to deal with it, but it's not happening. So I guess somebody's going to have to just find a way to build a home, to rescue these people, to get a psychologist there, get a nurse there, and get some staff there, and take care of these people. These are human beings. We cannot allow our people to live like this and do nothing about it.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Kim, you represent the Bahamas Red Cross, an organization that has been around for a long time. But yet, despite all the work that you all have done over the decades, the needs seem to be even greater now.
Yes, Jerome, it's greater now. Having experienced us just coming through COVID, we are seeing people at the Bahamas Red Cross that we have never seen before. So there's an increase in services at the Red Cross on a daily basis. There's a need for food, there's a need for shelter, there's a need for clothing, and this number is growing. As a matter of fact, we have a waiting list.
What?
A waiting list on persons that need assistance on a daily basis from the Bahamas Red Cross.
Either of you able to really see what is at the root of all of this? Are we just now, are we in a situation where the poor among us are just growing exponentially, or have we left our people behind in the economic success of our country?
To be brief, right to the point, the country is in bad shape as it relates to the poor. I do not see how Bahamians could survive and live in this country. The cost of living is far too high. The cost of living has created poverty, the high cost of living. And people go into the food stores and they come back with just a small parcel of food, and it's so high, so costly. The rental income has gone up, skyrocketed, and clothing, services, everything is too high. And that has created an atmosphere for crime and poverty. We have literally created that. And unless we go right to the root problem. All this crime, if the crime situation is to go down, we're going to have to deal with the people. I had a young man came to me, he's a carpenter, and he said to me, he hasn't worked in 3 months. He has 4 children, and his daughter came to him the night before and said, "Daddy, there's no food. My stomach is hurting. I'm hungry." And he said there was no food in his house. You know what he told me? He said, "I don't want to hurt anybody." His words. "I don't want to hurt anybody." Meaning, if he don't find some food, take it to feed his children, he's going to rob somebody, he's going to hurt somebody, but he's going to take care of his children. We have so many families, so many men in that very same predicament right now.
Kim, do you see those, you hear those same stories at the Red Cross?
Every day. Every day. We have a Wheels on Meals program where we assist the most vulnerable among us. So the Bahamas Red Cross is responsible for feeding 1 meal a day, over 200 persons per day. You may have a home where you have the grandmother gets the meal, but when you deliver to that home, you have the grandmother, you have the grandchildren, you have parents not working, and so that meal is not only to feed the grandmother, But that one meal may be to feed 10 people in a home.
So Grammy food has to share.
Yes. And so you could imagine whatever goes wrong in this country, one of the first places people call or come is the Bahamas Red Cross. And we are brother's keeper at the Bahamas Red Cross, so we turn nobody away.
But yet, a few months ago, there was a report that donations are down.
Donations are down. And so we are appealing right now. We have an innovative president. And we're in discussions trying to find ways to grow the operating budget for the Bahamas Red Cross in order to meet the needs and the continuous demand placed on the Red Cross on a daily basis.
Bishop, until I pass Great Commission all the time, there are always people out there waiting. My family delivered some food there for Christmas. We had some excess from an event, and it broke my heart to see the people wait. We went there that morning, and people were sitting there waiting. I was going to say, Mrs. Noy, what you bring? They're waiting.
Well, what happens is that we serve lunch, we serve a hot meal, and I am convinced that we have the best food in the country. We serve a hot meal every day, and we have, lunch starts at 1 o'clock. But from 10 o'clock, people start lining up.
I know, I've seen that.
And we have 500 to 600 persons every single day come to Great Commission. They get a hot meal, and a lot come just to get a bag of grocery. That is what we do. That's what God called us to do, and we have to find the food. I want to thank all of our donors, people who reach out and help us, because we can't do it alone. Right now we need about 50 volunteers to help us to deal with that crowd and to do some other things. And but we found over the years that it's difficult to find consistent volunteers and committed volunteers. But I hope we can get about 50 who could help lift the load and help ease the burden that we are carrying with so many persons that we minister to every single day. God is good. God is faithful, and we continue to do what God called us to do. But it's not easy.
I grew up in the Bahamas as a 50-year-old man now, 52. Grew up in the Bahamas where there was always a level of poverty. But I now see a community where children are on the light trying to sell fruits. You come out of an ATM and somebody is stationed there. You go in the food store and people are there. You on the light and people are knocking on your car window. Children with sponsorship sheets, and this is in the Bahamas. I grew up in the Bahamas where I'm not taking away where the church helped the poor, and it seemed almost manageable, but we seem to have an explosion.
Yeah, we have evolved into a nation of beggars. They're all over the place, and we need to find a way to fix that, Jerome. We have some deep-rooted problems. Deep-rooted social problems, and not only that, the people are so angry. Even the drivers on the street, because people are going through so much hardship and suffering in this country. If we don't fix it, we're going to continue to see the chaos, the lawlessness, the confusion that we're experiencing right now. Everybody got to. I can't blame anybody for this problem. We must all, as a nation, take responsibility. The church, the community, the family, the government. We all are responsible, but we all need to unite and come up with a problem that could resolve all these major social problems that is causing so much pain and wreaking havoc in our families and throughout the nation.
When these folks walk through your doors, Kim, at the Red Cross, or you go out to feed them, it's more than food.
Yeah, it's more than food. You have to be a counselor. You have to be a great listener. You have to be there for these persons. People are hurting, Jerome, in this country. And, people see the Bahamas Red Cross as being effective only when there's a disaster. But trust me, we are here every day. They see a hurricane and they think that's all the Bahamas Red Cross does.
And where all the money was given you early on.
Right.
That's the first question.
What are you doing with it? But it's not only, like I said, the feeding program. We provide training. You want to do after-school care. We want to venture into getting a home where we can help homeless persons as well. So that's something that's high on our agenda. But of course, all these things and to run all these programs call for money. Thankfully, we have a huge base of volunteers. And you know, the Bahamas Red Cross is built on its volunteers. So we want to thank them. And so we have these persons that volunteer every day at the Bahamas Red Cross. We have a small staff at the Red Cross. But
the staff that has to be paid.
That has to be paid,
Yeah.
but everything else is, you know, the jobs are volunteer. People volunteer. And so we have to be here for the Bahamas at large. And the Bahamas Red Cross is not just Nassau. It's reaching out to all these family islands as well. We're still helping people in Abaco, still helping people in Grand Bahama.
Bishop, let me come to you now. What level does education play in where we find ourselves? A lot of people that I've spoken to say that our educational system has fallen down, and our people are not employable in some instances. They don't know how to deal with conflicts. They're angry. They can't reason and rationalize and, you know, make bad decisions. Have we also failed to properly educate our people over the years?
Yes, that's been a major downfall. The fact that so many persons are unemployable. The people that we minister to every day, people say, well, why would you take care of these quote-unquote healthy people? The fact is, these people, I wouldn't hire some of them because they have very bad work ethics. And I know some of the business people that I know wouldn't hire them. So what does that mean? That means these same people that are unemployable has to eat. That's the bottom line. They must have somewhere to lay their heads. In addition to that, we have a working population. I believe we have about 50% of the working population that I call them the working poor. Because even though they're working, they have a job, their expenses are higher than the income, and they end up in the red every single month. So halfway through the month, they're already broke. They're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They're getting money from this way, from this one. Then when the end of the month comes, they're trying to pay it back, or they're paying these bunch of loans off at the bank. So we need management. We need training. We need people to be able to know how to handle their resources properly. We got, in addition to that, the Bahamas has some deep-rooted spiritual problems, deep-rooted, and the church has to address these. We have some churches that are doing a great job, wonderful job. We have others that are doing nothing but holding services. We have to go deeper than that. If the church be the church, we could change this Bahamas in 2 years.
Can I see you shaking your head?
I agree. It's a holistic problem. So we all have to play our role. And I agree with Bishop Hanschel with the church, because some churches are just churches. They're not reaching out. They don't have outreach programs. People see church sometimes as just the four walls, but it's going beyond the four walls. You could have a member in your church hurting right there. They're on the line to the Bahamas Red Cross Monday morning. But sometimes, you know, we have to have our pride. You know, so some people are proud. So I may not know you're hurting, but we need to find a way that we can speak to people and understand what's going on in their environment, understand what's going on in their world, and see how we could best meet their needs.
One of the things that we've been able to unpack in these shows that we have done in the past 3 weeks is that a lot of people find themselves in a life of crime because of the circumstances that they find themselves in. You alluded to it. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I have to feed a family. I'm unemployable, but I need to live.
Yes.
So if you're not able to take care of yourself in a society, you could turn to take things from some other people. Is that where we find ourselves?
I'll tell you some solutions that could happen. I believe the government of the Bahamas, whether it's the PLP or the FNM, as long as you hold power, the people should be a priority. Taking care of the people, and the poor in particular, should become a priority. It has never been for any administration. It should be a priority. They should they could find money for everything else. They could find money for John Canoe, find money to travel, find money for conferences, everything. So the people should be a priority. And what should happen is that they should make sure that people are trained, and I thank God for the training centers, and some of the government programs are good and are working, but they need to invest more resources, more financial resources, more human resources, more training into the people that are hurting. And then on top of that, they need to, this country doesn't have we don't own a shelter. They rent hotels. It is madness. The government owns 3 million acres of land. And we don't have a shelter anywhere in the country. No island we don't have a hurricane shelter in this country. We are so...
But we tearing down buildings.
So what has to happen, we need a plan where they can invest into the people, make sure that everybody's working, develop some of these family islands so that put into infrastructure that people could move out of Nassau. Nassau is too crowded. This is a madhouse we're living in.
Kim, we're just about out of time, so I wanna really end with you. Some people, I always ask this, people want to know what they can do, how can they help, how can they get involved? You talked about your volunteer program and things like that, but this should be an ongoing thing for us, I would think. But, how do people, or those who are watching, how can they help? What can we do?
They can reach out to us at the Bahamas Red Cross at 323-7370. They can become a volunteer. They can make donations, whether it's charitable, whether you're donating your time. And you can partner with us. We be asking persons, companies to partner with us in terms of bringing financial resources. I can make a commitment to the Red Cross to say, you know what, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to send the Red Cross $20 a month.
Wow, that's not a lot.
I'm just saying that because guess what? You spend more on that on lunch in a week.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
a day.
So we make that sacrifices. Organizations can get together. We can get together and say, $10 a day for lunch. We're not gonna spend that $10 today on lunch. We're gonna get together. We're gonna make that donation to the Red Cross because we know that's gonna go a long way to help the most vulnerable among us.
Bishop, I know that you're always in need of help. You talked about ways that people are helping you, and I want to commend both of you for the amazing work that you are doing in your organizations. Imagine a Bahamas today without Great Commission, without the Red Cross, without organizations. Where would we be? And so the work that you do is so important. You really are helping to keep this country going in so many ways. So thank you. God bless you. All the best to you. And certainly we will agree to have you come on again. And of course, what Kim didn't say is the Red Cross has wonderful fundraisers as well, the ball, the fair, all those things. I love the fair, by the way. And so, of course, and if you do want to make donations as well to Great Commission, folks can do that as well. Right?
Yes, we have a program called Live to Give. And that's where persons can donate $100 or $200 every month to help us to buy food, to take care of the people. In addition to that, we have just launched a program called Stop and Drop. You're going to see a big sign up at Great Commission. It should be posted sometime tomorrow. And Stop and Drop, we're going to ask people to drop some grocery into our buckets.
Just drop it in there.
Drop it in there or drop in some money.
That sounds good. So thank you very much, Bishop Hanshaw. Kim, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Your contributions certainly are appreciated. Again, we cannot say thank you enough. Stay with us. We're only just beginning our discussion here. You're watching On the Record.
Upgrade your internet service with a live business and save big. You get the extreme speed and reliability of a live business internet designed for all your business needs. And installation is free. You're gonna save big with a live business internet. It's the best in business solutions. Contact the experts today for more details. Email businesssolutions@cablebahamas.com or call 601-8911 in Nassau and 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres, and once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate over 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. The Lucaya Solar Project is a pivotal step towards diversifying the country's energy sources and significantly reducing dependency on fossil fuels. It's more than just a project. It's a commitment to a greener, more sustainable future. Lucaya Solar Power Limited, powered by Inti, powering your world, powering your future.
We're delighted to welcome our next guest, a leader from a dynamic organization that has quickly become a cornerstone in the battle against food insecurity. Keisha Ellis, the executive director of Hands for Hunger, joins us to discuss the critical work her organization is doing to address not just the symptoms, but the root causes of societal issues. Hands for Hunger prioritizes the most basic human need, food. They are committed to making significant strides in creating safer, healthier, and more hopeful communities. Keisha, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
And we are delighted, as I said, to have you. And I just want to commend you and the organization for the amazing work that you are doing. We hear about you and we see you, but I think people don't get a full grasp of everything that you do. So very quickly, a spiel on Hands for Hunger and what you all do almost on a daily basis to address some of the societal issues.
First of all, thank you, right? Thank you for acknowledging that. We do quite a bit, right? So of course, our cornerstone is food rescue, or our basics is food rescue. So when hotels and restaurants have surplus food that hasn't even gone out to the buffet yet, they give us a call, we come and collect it. And what we can do with that food is share it far and wide across New Providence, right? So we can share that food with organizations that are already feeding, right? And some of the organizations are guests here tonight as well. So that's the Red Cross, Salvation Army, Great Commission, children's homes, drug rehabilitation centers. So we're able to provide them with regular food so that they can focus on the other things that they're doing.
Why is food security so necessary in a community like ours? 300,000 people. We're a village.
Yep.
Why is this such a huge problem for us?
I think there are a lot of things that go into that. Part of the problem is just access to healthy food. You know, I think that for most people, you know, we don't have a famine issue in this country, certainly. There are a number of countries that have issues with famine. We don't have that issue, but I think it's the access to food, right? There's food all around us. There are stores and shops, but I think the problem really comes down to, you know, if I had to put it simply, an income issue. Right? People just cannot afford to buy the healthiest options for their family, for their needs.
So what have you seen in your work that equates that lack of income, lack of food, and lack of other necessities to the social problems that we are having right now? And I want to narrow it down really to crime and violence.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big question, right? And I think that what I've found working in the community is that there are perhaps two kinds of people that choose a criminal lifestyle, right? There are those that want to, right? There are those that are attracted to that lifestyle for a number of reasons, right?
As the old people say, irregardless of what you do. Regardless, they will choose,
right?
They will choose that life.
I think that's one
group.
And
right? That's in every community.
Of course, right? But then there are the people who choose a life of crime because they feel like they have to, right? And I think that that's the most worrying group. And those are the groups that I think that we can affect with our work at Hands for Hunger. There are people who have big dreams, who want to do big things and want to make a positive impact in their community, but they feel like they cannot, or they feel like that's not an option for them right now. There are things that have to happen right now. My children need to eat right now. I need to help my mother with her light bill right now. Right? And I think that those are the groups of people that are easily reached or more easily reached. And I think that those are the kind of people who we are able to help by offering food support.
What does that food support do for those families, for those individuals who are in need?
That food, like we at Hands for Hunger, we say that food is our foundation. And we sincerely mean that food is the foundation of Hands for Hunger, but it's also the foundation of our community. And you know what? If the only thing we do is give that person a little bit of comfort, a little bit of peace of mind, you know, just for the evening, just so that they feel motivated and confident and prepared to deal with tomorrow and to face tomorrow with positivity, then I know that we have done a great deal to help that individual family and the people that they come in contact with.
You said something just now that really, you know, captured my attention when you said, you know, that meal could possibly mean a night where they do not feel despair or despondent. Does that lead to sometimes criminal activity and behavior when you feel despair, when you feel, I don't know where the next meal is coming from, I don't know where I'm feeding my children, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow? Does that, in your experience, do you find that that really motivates people and moves them into a direction to do something that is antisocial?
I think it certainly can. And we hear a lot about that because another aspect of our work is our food pantry, right, where we distribute food to families. Right? People can walk in and say, hey, I don't have enough food to feed my children. Can you help me? And we hear that from them. We hear them say with just such gratitude, thank you so much. I did not know what I was going to do. I was feeling really frustrated. I feel inadequate. I feel like my children aren't getting the protection from me that they deserve. And so we hear it all the time that we've provided just really a basic level of comfort and support that makes them feel a little bit motivated. And you know what? It also helps them feel seen. It helps them feel like, hey, I do have a place in this society. Yes, this society welcomes me and appreciates me, and that does something as well to kind of change a thought pattern that might have led this person down an antisocial path.
Does it give them some dignity as well?
Oh, absolutely. Dignity is a cornerstone of how we operate, right? And so our pantry itself actually promotes dignity just in and of itself. So when a family walks into our pantry, they can choose the items that they want off of our shelves.
So it's not just a here, take this and go.
It is not a here, take this and go.
Okay.
And what we find is that by offering the choice and dignity and the power to say no, they feel more empowered in other parts of their life. So they say, wait, I don't have to be a victim of my circumstances. I don't have to just go with the flow. I am a fully active human. I have choices, my choices matter, and hopefully that mentality can carry through in other decisions that they make.
I want to ask you about those of us who do not see that side of life. Those of us who are going to work every day, that have steady jobs, that have steady incomes, we're living in our own world, almost in our bubble. Yeah. Are we that disconnected from what is happening out there?
I would say that not all of us who appear to be disconnected are disconnected. That is also something that I've found.
Or do we know and don't care?
Well, what I've found is that there are a lot of people who look just like you and I, who everyone would assume is doing quite well, who are actually struggling. Wow. So we actually find that quite a bit. With the cost of living, you know, you've adjusted your lifestyle based on a cost of living, and then things change, and all of a sudden you realize that, hey, I have to choose between my light bill and food this month. Right? So
rent and food.
Exactly. So I think that a lot of us really have an appreciation for what other members of our society are going through. But I think that even with that being said, many of us perhaps don't realize the intensity of not knowing where your next meal is coming from. This isn't a matter of, I skipped lunch. Oh, I was so busy today, I couldn't have lunch.
Well, payday's tomorrow, and I'll hold.
Exactly.
I know that is. I know when you say, you know what? this car on E, but I'm getting paid tomorrow. I'll make it until then.
Exactly.
But when there is no tomorrow.
When you know tomorrow is going to come, and you know that you're just going to be hungrier, right? Because you don't have any options, or you feel like you don't have options for food today, and you also know that tomorrow is going to be the same or even worse. And I think that that's the stark difference, that it's difficult for people to understand, and rightly so. It's difficult for you to understand if you've never experienced it, but it's really that kind of desperation that can come with, not only do I not have options today, but I don't even see an avenue where options can exist later.
Your organization is primarily focused on providing meals, food security.
Mm-hmm.
In your work, do you find, though, that even though you hand that food, you allow those people to come to the pantry, you make those donations, that even though people get that food and they get that meal, there is so much more that they need?
Yes, Jerome. And the reason why I responded like that is because it's easy to sometimes feel like this is not enough, right? As much, Hands for Hunger does tremendous work throughout the country, and every year we increase the amount of people that we can help, the amount of food that we serve. But of course, we often feel like, but it's not enough, right? We still need to do more. We have not touched enough people, and that's just in terms of food. We also know that the people who come to our pantry, people that help us, need so much more help besides food, right? And it's tempting to try and do it all. It's tempting to say, you know what, we need an after-school program, we need parenting classes, we need anger management classes, and so we're tempted. And so what we've actually done is expanded our pantry to include what we call the empowerment program. So people who are on our pantry program, we have regular sessions at our pantry where we invite them to come and kind of get other tools to help them in other aspects of their life.
You mentioned two things off the bat that stood out to me. Parenting, which a lot of people have identified as a huge deficit in our community, as well as anger management.
Yes.
And the two sometimes are connected. When you don't have,
Absolutely.
you don't have a stable home, you feel despondent, you're angry. You don't have that education to get the job, you're angry. So tell me a little bit about the sessions and what people are able to get from them.
Yeah, so at our empowerment program, people come and we have speakers come in to lead workshops on dealing with these kinds of things. So we've had self-care workshops, because that's a part of it as well. Right, when you feel like you're in a desperate situation, you feel like you're not even worthy of loving yourself, right? So we've tackled it from that point of view.
Wow.
Yeah, and that leads to, making hard decisions, right? Decisions that are not good for you, your family, or the community, right? And so we think it's important to start with that. Right, and of course, in our line of work, we know that we need to get food into the bellies of hungry people.
That's primarily what you do.
But we also understand that if we have the space and the ability, we should definitely kind of stop and take a moment to talk about the deeper rooted issues that are involved. Right, so we lead workshops and we advertise them. They're open to our pantry clients as well as other people who want to come. And we really just try to take some time to sit back and talk about these deeper issues.
Wow. People like myself sometimes will wonder, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
How can I help? I may come to Paradise Plates and enjoy myself and spend that money to help, or I may go to the Red Cross Ball, or I may give a donation at church for something. But sometimes I know in my own experience, I feel I want to do more. What can we do? This is our problem, our country. This is this in our front yard.
Yes.
This isn't somebody else's issue. What can we do?
Yes. I mean, the first thing I would say, and I always start with this, the first thing is don't neglect to act when you know you can. Right? And I think that's something we take for granted. We all see those opportunities when they come up to have compassion on someone or to be a little extra kind. Right, so the first thing is don't pass up those opportunities.
And thank you for saying that, because sometimes you second guess yourself. Well, should I don't know. But thank you for saying that.
Don't pass up those opportunities, and even that little step. Right, if we all started doing that right now, not passing up opportunities to be kind and compassionate, I feel like that would be a huge step toward dealing with the issues that we're dealing with. Right, but I think that in addition to that as well, everything that you said, supporting organizations that are doing the work really is helpful. And I think that there are ways that individuals can, of course, help people in their community, and they should do that. But I think that something that perhaps Bahamians don't understand about charity work is that charities can truly make your dollar go further than you can. Right? So a part of what we do at Hands for Hunger is we negotiate discounts with every distributor in the country. Right? So that means that if we go into the shop with $10 in our pocket, we can buy more than you can buy. Right? And I know that, Bahamians are kind of funny with that because of all of the cultural and societal issues, right? But I know that,
have a lot.
Right. But find an organization whose work you can see. Find an organization who's happy to answer questions and then give your support to them. Right? Because while you can do a lot as an individual, there are organizations that are on the ground every day who can propel the change a bit more quickly and a bit further than you can do as individuals.
They can take your $10 and stretch
exactly.
it.
So that's my advice. Do the good things that you can do as an individual, and then go out and look for an organization that you believe in. An organization that's doing education or healthcare or counseling or feeding, whatever it is, find your passion.
It doesn't necessarily have to be feeding, but whatever is out there, wherever the needs are.
Yes.
Keisha, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Again, as I started this discussion, I just want to commend you all for the great work that you're doing. This was insightful. I learned a lot. I mean, I know what you do, but I learned a lot. And I hope that people will see this time as an opportunity to get involved.
Yes.
Because that's what we need. All right. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much
you.
for sharing your philosophy and talking about Hands for Hunger. Stay with us as we talk to an organization that's partnering with local law enforcement to tackle crime head on. We'll be back right after this break.
You've heard of electric cars. Now it's time you drive one. Easy Car Sales welcomes you to experience the power and prestige of the latest electric vehicles. Plug in at home for a 65% discount off your gas bill and never get stuck at the pump again. Build your dreams of a better future with a better car, the BYD EV. Visit easy242.com to book your free test drive today. Save your money while driving in style, only at Easy Car Sales.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
They come from an organization with a long-standing reputation for its commitment to service and positive global impact, Rotary Clubs of the Bahamas. With us tonight are Christian Knowles, president of the East Nassau Club, and Tim Ingram, representing the Road to Peace Committee. The Rotary's motto, Service Above Self, encapsulates the ethos of its countless initiatives to improve lives and foster community development. Christian and Tim, welcome to the show. Rotary really needs no introduction because we are all familiar with the magnificent work that you all do and have been doing for so many decades in this country. But I guess I want really to talk a little bit about the program that, Christian, that you all do from the East Nassau Club perspective, some things that you are involved with that are positively impacting the community.
Well, I mean, the first one I think I can say is one of our longest standing continuous service projects and one of our most well known. We call it the Fox Hill Run. Now, before everybody thinks that we're going out running in Fox Hill, it's more of a food program. Mm-hmm. We have 8 families who we have adopted, so to speak, and once a month on Saturdays we go and we give them their toiletries, we give them food, we give them other things as well. Sometimes on various different Saturdays we'll bring them fresh fruit, and these are people that you see and know that there's no one else that's really supporting them. That's kind of one of the ways we identify the families that we support. We use the community, we use the churches in the area, and we make it so that these families really don't have other family members supporting them, and a lot of them are handicapped. And it's probably one of the most rewarding ones that we do. So that's the first one that come to mind. But there's a whole myriad of different things that we
really gets in the community though, and touches,
yeah.
And it's a theme that we obviously have been discussing throughout the show, is there are so many people, whether they're individuals or families or groups or extended families, who are hurting, that just do not have access to something as basic as food.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's a huge problem in our community, obviously. Rotary clubs, we have, I think, 8 Rotary clubs here in Nassau, another 2 in various family islands. There's 4 in Grand Bahama. And virtually all of the clubs will have some type of feeding program where they go out and assist. And sometimes it becomes adjacent to other things. So if you're doing a youth program, you understand that a lot of kids will come out, and some are coming for the food. If you make sure you have food there, you're going to get a lot better participation than not.
Tim, I'm very interested in your Road to Peace program and what that is about.
So several years ago, we looked around at the crime situation in the country, and we decided that Rotary, with its talents and resources, should get involved in this. The Global Rotary Organization is on the brink of eradicating polio, working with our partner organizations. And so we felt, well, if Rotary can eradicate polio from the earth, surely we can make some difference in this country with the violence situation. And so we started this group, Road to Peace. It comprises members from all of our clubs. And we've come up with several programs that we've run over the years. Some of them we are looking to have the government adopt them because we feel that they're impactful. One of the things we're doing, for instance, this weekend, or this Saturday, in the St. Barnabas constituency, we're working with the Urban Renewal organization in that area and a number of other organizations, police cadets, many others, Zonter, the Crisis Center. And we're putting on a Peace in the Park event. So it starts from 10 to 3. And what we usually do at these events, we get organizations which are working in this same space that'll come out. And so persons can come and they can speak with the Crisis Center if they need to speak with that. There's street legends which take young men in and train them, give them a skill. Royal Bahamas Police Force cadets will be there to talk about what they do. And we have many other organizations like that who will be there to talk about what they do to positively engage adults. BTVI will be there to talk about their programs. But not just adults, kids as well. We'll have talks on peace. We'll have food and activities going on there.
What have you been able, or how have you been able to really discover the link between the level of poverty and the level of crime that we are seeing?
Yeah, well, and Christian can probably speak to this as well. I mean, you go into a lot of underprivileged communities, and sometimes it's not crime on a major level, but it's crime on a much smaller level. And the driving force between a lot of these communities is that the poverty is there, and the level of, and that's just not just something in the Bahamas. You look globally, and you see the same thing happening where you go into underprivileged communities, and there's a level of crime. People, are doing what they can to survive each day.
Christian, what are some of the things that you see in your work that may be unique to our community? Or is it that we're facing what everyone else is facing?
I think it is. We are facing a lot of the same things that we can see around the world in various different places. But I think it's important to know and to note to everybody in the Bahamas that right around the corner we have those same things here. When we do our feeding program, and some of our members have never, well, some of our prospective members have never seen that before. It's actually one of the conditions of joining our club is to go there and see the people that we help. It is eye-opening. And like Tim was saying, I mean, you might not see the major crime in those areas, but as little as, someone helped them with a well, and the well is in their backyard, and they got a new pump for their well, and then, they go to turn on some water, which is very important in these communities. and there's nothing because someone stole the pump. You know, it's an epidemic of crime. I mean, it's not doesn't have to be murder, theft. I mean, people preying on others, and I think we have a very, very big problem in this country with people preying on others.
How do we begin to address that? I mean, you talked about the Road to Peace Committee, but how do you all even begin to address that? When you look, you know, you're just one organization.
Yes.
And there are so many communities spread over, not just New Providence, but even in the other islands.
Correct. Yeah. Education, I think, is a one strong way to do it.
That's a big one.
We ran a program a pilot program in 3 schools, a primary school, a junior high, and a senior high, a peer mediation program. And one of the things we wanted to do through that was to teach kids how to deal with conflict themselves. Teach kids that if you're standing on the playground and you see conflict starting, techniques that don't get in if they're fighting, but to try and intervene early on to try and de-escalate the tension. And so we found that was productive. We found that teaching kids those techniques work. Some kids even talked about going home and using it with their parents when their parents were having conflict or other family members were having conflict. And so I think if we get in these schools and we start to bring the tension down for our kids. The government started a food program recently. I think that's critical. Kids can't learn properly if they're coming to school with an empty stomach. Their brains don't develop properly if they don't have proper nutrition. So, we fight this a lot of times at the end with the police and crime.
When they've already evolved into the criminal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're if you're a doctor and you go to the doctor and say, oh, I have this pain over here, and he just gives you a painkiller and is not treating the underlying problem, then that pain is going to persist.
You'll be back with a greater problem.
Exactly.
Kristen, I know you wanted to get in on it. You know, we start talking about the educational component.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is. I think it does start with education, but what people fail to realize, I think, and what successive governments fail to realize, I believe, is that is a problem. If you fix it, you're not going to see anything, okay, for a generation. Okay, you're not going to see it in 5 years. That's
definitely not.
Okay, you're not going to see it in 10 years.
We didn't get this way in 5 years.
Okay, now what is the election cycle is 5 years. People need to sit down and really take action at what the problem is. And the problem with violence, the problem with crime, and everything that we see in our country, everything we see as Rotarians and who we try to help, it starts with education from the bottom. And Tim and I were speaking in the green room. Make morality cool. Okay, make it a cool thing. You know, someone wise said that the path to true morality is to being a great person or a great man is to be a dangerous man, okay, to be capable of destruction, but choose not to use that power. And if you and that's the only way you can be moral, to have the ability to do something like that and choose not to. And I think what we need to say to our young men in this country is, listen, morality is cool. Being a community is cool. The Rotary clubs of the Bahamas and my club and all the clubs in Grand Bahama and throughout the islands, one of the things that we have that's very important to us is fellowship. Fellowship is a sense of community. When we come together, and the thing about it is you get to know people when you do a service project. We have an initiative in the Rotary Club of East Nassau called Service Saturdays. Every single Saturday, we're out there serving someone in the community or one of our members. You know, we'll go to their house, we haven't seen them in a while, or maybe they're going through some hardships, and we go visit with them. We'll fellowship with them.
Wow.
And that whole sense of camaraderie that you have, that you belong to something, right? Not a gang.
Yeah.
Okay, but a community.
Well, you know, as one of my previous guests said, you know, we're a country of gangs. Just some of them are good. They're not all bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to address something specific again that we have been uncovering in these weeks, and that is the absence of males.
Yes.
The male figure, whether it's a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a cousin, just the absence of males in the home and what that absence has contributed to.
I think that it's a complicated thing to speak about. We've always had single-parent homes.
Of course.
Those kids in those homes didn't necessarily go astray. But I think now what was the dynamic that's entered the picture has been gangs that have been replacing some of the formalized family structure. So in the past, if you were in a single-parent home, you came home from school and Grammy or auntie or somebody was there to make sure you did what you were supposed to do. Nowadays, because of the way we live, Grammy and auntie and those kinds of persons aren't there to provide that direction.
And if you got out of hand and you needed that meal, there was uncle or granddaddy.
Well, actually, I came from Topham Bay Lutheran. If you did something wrong, by the time you get home, somebody on the other side of the community is already
when you get that first cut,
yes.
The last thing you say is, please don't tell mommy and daddy.
But that has changed.
It has
tremendously. I mean, you even sometimes, you see kids misbehaving.
Yes.
And you think twice about even saying anything as a responsible adult.
But the other thing we have to do is show persons a better way. So a lot of kids in these, in some underprivileged communities, don't see any way out. All they see is what they see every day. I watched a documentary on the weekend about a rowing club in Chicago. And these kids in this high school, it's the most violent neighborhood in Chicago on the west side. And they come in and they form a rowing club. And they take these kids out. And the guy who the documentary is about said, in my life, I'd never been out on the water or surrounded by grass, somewhere it was so peaceful.
He talked
and
about
serene.
just the peace of it.
I wasn't hearing gunshots. I wasn't hearing people screaming and sirens.
I've seen the same piece.
And that really just appealed to me. And appealed to him and some of his friends.
So what do we do now? I know that you are a part of an organization that is doing its part, that is helping, that is attempting to break the cycle and do so many things, whether it be just in helping or in educating or conflict resolution or so many things that you're doing, or just the fellowship. All of those things are so important. But as we look at it now from a wider community and what we need to do as a community, where do we need to start moving? And those who are not involved in the Rotary or Red Cross or other organizations, those people who are not out there, what is our role? What is our responsibility? Because you all are doing it.
Yes. I mean, it's each one teach one, right? So we all reached out. If the good people in this country reach out and say, look, I'm going to go and I'm going to deal with a child every Saturday. I'm going to pick them up. I'm going to show them some positivity, a child who otherwise might be going in the wrong direction. I think that's a start. We might not save all of them, but if you can start saving, one by one, then it's going to add up. So we need to do that. We need to make sure that kids have what they want. As I said, we have the peer mediation program. We're hoping to get the government to implement that in schools. We have a program that we're piloting now in one of the young persons' homes called PACT. We adopted it from a Rotary Club in Canada. They get kids who've entered the system, the legal system. If it's their first offense, they get a suspended sentence. They're sent into this program where they're given a life coach who coaches them for 12 months. They're taught a skill, so they find out, well, what is it you like doing? If you like to fish, we're going to try and find you a job fishing. If you like computers, we're going to try and find you a job there. And after 12 months, they take them back into court to find out, has this young person turned their life around? And there's a very high percentage of the young people who haven't been shown a more positive way actually follow that path. And so we're hoping that we can bring that here on a wider scale to this country. As I say, it's being piloted right now. And we're looking forward to that.
Christian, you got the last word.
I mean, I agree with what Tim is saying. I mean, a lot of people look at this problem like it's a massive, insurmountable problem, but the old saying goes, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? Even if you save one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if you save one, I think to show them and to show the kids and the youth in this country that there is a better way, and it's not only a better way, but it's a fulfilling way, a more fulfilling way to think about your community as a collective that you're a part of, rather than just you.
You have a stake.
Yes. You have a stake. 100%.
This is yours, and it's nothing like ownership when you feel like you are a part of this you know, you have some say-so. And I think for a lot of our young people, they just feel like they don't.
Yeah, they don't see a future. They don't see a future at all in front of them. The friends and the close family that they have around them are living that life, and so they just slip right into it. So we have to show a different way.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate you and appreciate the work that you do. It's been a pleasure having both of you. We look forward to more great initiatives from Rotary. Our guest stories and insights underscore a critical message. Tackling crime and building stronger communities is a responsibility that falls on all of our shoulders. It's about empowering people and tackling the root causes of crime, including poverty, lack of education, and of course, unemployment. So as we reflect on tonight's conversations, let's challenge ourselves to think about what role we can play in making our communities safer and more welcoming. Whether it's through volunteering, supporting local charities, or simply being there for our neighbors, every action counts. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our guests for joining us tonight and for all the remarkable work that they do. Your dedication to making a difference is truly inspiring. And to our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positive change that transforms our communities. Once again, I'm your host, Jerome Soy. We'll see you next time on The